Okay, it's July 16th, or thereabouts, and I was going to do a garden update this weekend, but somebody emailed me a question and it got me out here looking, so I figured I'd just do the video now. What I'm looking at right now are the cantaloupes that the wife wanted to plant, and we did, and look at that, we got our first, that's probably 2 inches in diameter now, and there's some others in here. There's another one. The beans have finally started climbing, and they look like they're doing okay. What I did is I put this piece of concrete reinforcing mesh in because it looked like they weren't going to get attached to the netting early enough, so I had to change it around. And it looks like it's working pretty well, so maybe I'll make that part of my setup for next year. My squashes, yeah, what is this? No, that's a butternut squash. It's the winter squash. You can see how well these plants seem to be doing. Can you get a picture of that one that's growing there? Oh yeah, there it is. And there's a bunch of them in here. A bunch of little squashes. But what I'm really liking is that they're trellising fantastic. And just kind of by themselves, they started going up there, and I've just been kind of wrapping them around as they go, and they've been staying there. And then actually got a few good sized squashes started already trellised there, so I'm not sure. I was thinking I might get some socks or like some nylon, I think they call them knee highs, and maybe I'll have the wife go and buy those. I don't want to look like some kind of fruit, you know, but and then maybe clothespinning them to the netting if they need some extra support. And that's kind of my initial idea, and I thought I might leave a couple without any support just to see if they actually do need any support or not. So this is all I've been doing. This one's actually started its way back down, and I've just been running them back through, and I hope we get, I would like to get 20 of these butternut squashes. We just love them. We'll eat them all the time. The zucchini, I'm wondering if the zucchini's starting to peter out. I mean, that would be okay. We've eaten plenty of them, and I see a couple more little ones right there. But it looks like they're still blossoming. Looks like we'll still get some more. But we've eaten, God, we pulled at least 20 off of those plants, so I've been happy with that. The summer squash, we haven't been near as pleased with. We've only had probably 3 or 4 come off these plants. And there's nothing immediately that I can see is wrong. We have killed a few squash bugs, but maybe only a handful, and I keep looking. If we were infested with squash bugs, I'm sure I'd see more, but we don't. The potatoes seem to be doing super. I'm watering them a lot because they're in the flowering stage, and the buckets on the fence are all doing. Cucumbers are finally starting to take off, and I've been doing the same kind of thing with them and just getting them to wrap around. I planted a few smaller ones in there, and they're catching up to the ones I initially planted. What I really wanted to show everybody was my Swiss chard. This is the original Swiss chard that I bought as seedlings at the nursery. I had 6 plants, and I've been eating lots of it. I'm going to make myself a salad for dinner tonight. This one bolted, and I don't know if you can see that big stem right there, how thick around it is, and it got pretty high, but then it had made bunches of leaves off of that, and I ate those leaves and they were fine. But I just cut it off just to see what it would do, and if it would keep making more leaves. But you can see how many leaves I've cut off of there, all these places that I've cut the leaves and then come back for more. And man, they're just fantastic. I am just super pleased that I found that. What I did was I started some more seeds in this pot, and then they grew, and I took them out and I transplanted them here, and these are giant Ford hook, I think is what it's called. But geez, I could probably eat some of these leaves already. I'm gonna let them grow just to see the size they get and everything. But these are 3 that I planted in this pot and transplanted, and that's where those are. So fantastic. And these, they're back in the pot, are some more that I planted. These here are some others that I planted the same time I planted in the pot, the 3 that I have transplanted since. I planted these 3 in this bed just from seed, and they're doing just fine. This right here, sick looking thing, is, I believe it's another rainbow chard that I found down at the end of the bed, just kind of growing there. So I dug it up and planted over here just to see if it would make it or not. As you can see, the lettuce has kind of run its course for a lot of it, but this here is stuff that we've all cut. We've cut and it's come back, and we've cut it again. That will be the 3rd cutting if something grows from those. And all I'm doing, I'm watering a lot and just trying to keep it as wet as I can. This is all stuff that I'm just harvesting still and just watering. This is the last planting of everything that we did, and it hasn't bolted yet. I had some spinach bolt and I pulled it out, and we ate as much as we could and pulled a few out, but we're gonna be fixing to eat this pretty soon here. The cover off of the cabbages, and you can see that these are probably softball size right now. I pulled the covers off just to kind of look at them, and I noticed I had quite a bit of aphids on one in particular, so the one in the middle, I pulled that one out because it just looked too buggy to me to think that it was going to make it. And these others seem to be doing okay, and I'll probably put the cover back on just for the cabbage moth, but I actually sprayed these with 7 spray. So since I had them sprayed, I figured it didn't matter if I had the covers off for a few days, since that spray is supposed to kill that cabbage moth also. The basil tastes good, but I'm disappointed with the amount of it. I've been pulling off these buds as I see them, just kind of pinching them off. And I was hoping for bigger leaves and a lot. So I just pulled the rest of these radishes. These are the last of them. And I'm gonna try using these in salads. I got one more set here that I kind of doubt that they're gonna do anything. We're gonna be 100 degrees for the next 6 or 8 days, they're saying. So, but I put them in there and we'll just see what happens with them. If you've seen the previous videos, you know that this is where I pulled the onions out of. And I was gonna go and try and plant some bush beans in here. So I planted 2 rows, and that's the only one that came up. So I don't know why. I think maybe it was just too hot. And I noticed that that's kind of the lowest spot, and it got the most water. So maybe just everything else needed more water than I was able to give it. Maybe it was just drying out too fast during the day. So, all right, lesson learned. We'll figure out something else. Carrots. Carrots are doing well, and I pulled a few just to test them. And I hate to keep pulling them to test them, but I'm eating what I test, so that's kind of nice. Let's see about this one here. That is a Burpees #1 hybrid. And right next to it, or in here, let's see what else. See if we can pull another one. That's probably a Nantes half long. So those won't go to waste. I will eat them. But look how long they are and straight. I think that nice loose soil with the organic stuff in it, I think is doing a good job. So I pulled my tall beets that were in here, ate them, ate all the greens. You can see here I had some birds that were eating them, eating just the greens. And so as these get a little bit bigger, I'll put some bird netting on to save them. But I actually have another couple of rows going that are just planted, but they probably won't do anything. I'm just hoping to get the greens off of these, just because I enjoyed eating those so much. So I planted some more